I hit 15 drinks today, so that's something I've literally never done, not once. Good morning, y'all. It is Nassau Day. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I don't often get off in Nassau, but I am today because it looks like Peter, my Fun Squad friend, is actually going to be able to get off and have time to do stuff today. So that'll be nice. They're doing a drill right now. As soon as the drill is over, I'm supposed to meet him down at the gangway, and we're going to go from there. But yeah, being that I came to visit him on this cruise and to experience kind of like a different side of cruising, sort of the crew member perspective, that this will be good, right? And I will, of course, recap all of that with you all later and show you all the things as we do them and whatever. But yeah, Nassau Day. I'm ready to go. We'll see what we see. We'll do what we do. I'll take you with me. And of course, we'll talk soon. The drill ended within a few minutes, and I made my way down to the gangway, and Peter met me there soon after. Being that we didn't have that much time to hang out this cruise so far like we thought we would, we planned to make the most of it. And of course, Peter goes through Nassau all the time, but on this day, he actually had it in his plans to get a tattoo. He told me he would push it back to next time if I didn't want to go with him, but I thought it was actually super cool that he was willing to include me in that. And this was actually his first tattoo ever, so it was kind of a big deal. Here's kind of a before and after. He got sort of this bee design with some flowers, which turned out really nice. And luckily, there wasn't really a wait when we got there, so the whole process took about 45 minutes. From there, we thought about maybe going and getting something to eat at a restaurant, but Peter actually had to be back on board for the Fun Squad duty stuff, so we ended up not having a whole lot of time. But we looked through some shops and walked around, and then we ended up at Starbucks, which is actually somewhere I've never gone to in Nassau before. And I got my usual tea, and Peter got a coffee and a sandwich before we made our way back over to the ship. And after getting through a small line, we of course had to go through security. One thing I noticed is that crew members actually have a much stricter boarding process than guests. They have to take their shoes off and they get wanded by security, but it didn't slow things down too much, and before I knew it, we were both back on board the ship. At this point, Peter had to go change for work, which was a little bit of a bummer, but you know, duty calls. I didn't have breakfast, so I was actually pretty hungry at this point, so I immediately went up to the Lido Deck, which was starting to get semi-crowded at this point, even though a lot of people were still off the ship, and I grabbed a burger from Guy's Burgers because, you know, why not? And then I got some footage of the Carnival Liberty because we were docked right next to her, and that's a ship that I'd been on before. Carnival Liberty is actually the ship I was on for my first ever Carnival cruise, and then I decided to go take a look at who was there with us and what was going on around us. Including us, there were actually 6 ships in Nassau that day, which made for a pretty crowded experience, but that also made it so that we got directly hassled less than I have at other times when I've been in Nassau, which if you've watched my videos before, you know that's my least favorite thing about Nassau, so I was definitely happy about that. And I also thought it was a good idea to check out the construction progress because we were actually parked in the slip right next to where the new terminal is being built. And while I was up there, I noticed that the Fun Squad had gone out to do the pier dancing thing, and Carnival Elation has this really cool lookout deck on top of the bridge that is fully guest accessible, so I went up there and got a nice bird's eye view of them pumping up the guests as they came back on board the ship. Alright, so I haven't actually been back to my room since we got back from Nassau. I went straight up to the Lido Deck to eat and grab a drink. But I have a towel animal. This is another one I actually haven't gotten yet. I'm not sure what this is. Is it a sheep? Looks like it might be like a lamb or a sheep. And I got to keep this bunny from yesterday, so he didn't undo that one. But anyway, let me know in the comments what you think this is. We'll talk soon. That actually is a towel animal I got before. I'm pretty sure it is a sheep, but for some reason my cabin steward put it like sideways in this case, so I just didn't recognize it at first. But from there I made my way back up to the Lido Deck because it was sail away, which as most of you know already, watching the ship push off the dock is one of my favorite things ever, and for some reason it never gets old to me. We were actually the first ones to leave while the other 5 ships waited in port for their turn to depart. The last couple times I was in Nassau, we were the last ones to leave, and it was after dark, so it was interesting leaving so early. And after saying goodbye to Nassau, I made my way down to the lobby to grab a drink from the bar there. I really did end up liking the lobby bar this time. I spent a lot of time there, way more than the first time when I was on the Elation, because the first time I had a hard time finding seats there all the time. But they made good drinks there, including this old fashioned, before I made my way up to Alchemy. It's no secret that Alchemy is my favorite Carnival bar concept. In my opinion, they really do make the best drinks there, and it's also a really good place to hang out and meet cool people. And so I had a couple more drinks in there with some of the people that I'd met on board before making my way down to my room to change for the evening. Alright y'all, so I'm back to the room to change for dinner. I'm not actually going to go to dinner, I don't think, tonight, but I figured I should change anyway. I'm going to wear brown pants. So this color brown, if you can see that, with this shirt, which I think is great. Like it's gonna look good. The blue and brown, they're complementary colors, etc. But I'm gonna wear black shoes because that's all I brought. But a lot of people have an issue with combining black and brown, and I actually think black and brown go really well together, if it's done right. So, what do you all think? Black and brown together? Yes or no? This is, fashion with Travis or something. But anyway, I don't know. Anyway, I've had about 8 drinks tonight, so I'm feeling okay. Maybe 9. I know that I just got a drink, and my receipt doesn't have the countdown yet. If you're on a Carnival cruise, you're maxed at 15, and once you hit 10, it'll show you 10 and then 11 and then you're on the list at that point. I don't have a countdown yet, so I've had no more than 9 drinks today. But I'm feeling pretty good. And I'm also feeling pretty passionate about black with brown, so let me know. Anyway, I am gonna go eat right now. And we'll go from there. But we'll talk soon. So I left my room and debated if I wanted to go up to the buffet and get some food there, or maybe like the deli for some sandwiches. But Lie, the cruise director, told me how good the sushi is on board, so I went and decided to try that instead. If I remember correctly, the rolls are between like $7 and $10, so it's not horribly bad. But unfortunately, it is an upcharge. It is not an included option. And then from there, it was time for karaoke, so I made my way over to the Romeo and Juliet lounge for that, which after chatting her up for a while, I convinced one of the bartenders to sing a song. She chose Colin Ray's If You Get There Before I Do, which was an interesting song choice. Unfortunately, it got flagged during the copyright check, so I'm not able to play any of the audio, but it was really nice being serenaded with such a beautiful song, and she really did have a great voice. After karaoke and music in the lobby, I made my way into the theater where I caught the back end of the farewell show, which from what I saw was pretty good, but then from there I made my way over to the Limelight Lounge where they were having the Carnival Quest game. That's a really fun, adult-only scavenger hunt type game that gets pretty raunchy, so unfortunately we were strictly prohibited from recording any of it. Alright y'all, that's a wrap. Today was a good day, honestly. Nassau, obviously, and Peter got a tattoo, which was exciting and all that. I hit 15 drinks today, so that's something I've literally never done, not once. I think this is my 6th Carnival cruise. If you're not familiar with Carnival, they cut you off at 15, so I literally got handed a receipt with like, last one, see you around, which, in general is probably a good thing because, like I said, I've never hit 15 before. I don't think I should exceed 15 ever. I didn't even get that early of a start today, but yet, here we are. But yeah, so this has been an interesting cruise for me. I've gotten kind of that, insider vibe, that crew member perspective. Maybe I can get Peter to do an interview or something along those lines, but either way, I've gotten some perspective this week that I wasn't expecting to get. It's been a lot more restricted than I thought it would be, but also it's been okay. It's been nice. But anyway, I want to thank you all so much for traveling with me. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, all those fun things. We'll talk soon, and y'all have a good night.